What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday. I hope you're having a good afternoon. I hope you were able to have an action-packed day and get everything on your list done. And if not, I hope you're about 80 to 90% done with all the tasks that you have to do today. As you can tell from the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about creator block and how to avoid it and how to overcome it. It's funny. I wanted to share with you. I want to be completely transparent. All day I've been working on the brand deals that we have. So I've been doing a lot of B-rolls and then testing out the products and getting that stuff ready. I did some unboxings and stuff like that. So I didn't prepare for today. I didn't prepare for what I wanted to talk about. Actually, I wasn't even going to come on here today. I thought I did enough today, but like I said, I always try to do more and more and more. So in regards to the topic that we're going to talk about, the creator block, I have this other video camera that's been sitting here and it's recording me. We're testing the audio from this brand on this side, and I got these two video cameras. But this one to my left has been recording me for about a good 30 to 40 minutes before I hit record on here and record on the other video camera. And the whole time, I'm going to go back to the video camera. I want to watch and see how I came up with today's topic because I didn't have anything to talk about. And I did so much that I just forgot. I didn't forget. My mind went blank, creator block. And I'm going to go back to this video camera and see, how I was and how I was coming up with today's topic and just figure out how to avoid that. But it's a great topic. It's something that we need to talk about more because I know a lot of people go through it. I know as a photographer, before when we first started and stuff like that, or even sometimes nowadays, you go through a creator block. You see something somebody else does and you're like, oh my God, dude, what can I do? What can I post today? And you end up overanalyzing things, overthinking things, and then you just don't post anything. All of a sudden you're depressed, and then you go to sleep, and then you wake up that same way. The biggest thing I could tell you, or the biggest takeaway from this video, is to just hit record. I'm still on my cell phone, so I pointed at the little record button. Once you hit record, all of a sudden, everything that you were thinking about just comes together. It does for me. I don't try to plan a lot of stuff. I don't try to go over the top. I shoot from the hip, and I think it works. A lot of people think that you have to have some big production. You have to bring to the plate this whole huge shebang, like, oh, I will help you get 1 million followers and blah, 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 or do this, or you don't have to do that. When I'm working on something that's not video, if I'm working on photography or anything else, I have the stereo going and I'm listening to people on YouTube. I'm listening to motivational speakers. I'm listening to people's stories. I love stories. On that, I want to share. When I was little, I want to say anywhere from, I think, 10 to like 14 or whatever the case is. We lived in this apartment complex over on West Commerce in San Antonio. For those that are watching that are from there, that corner, it's on West Commerce and Pinto, over there by Zazamora. Anyways, in the back, I would take this alley, and there was a retirement home. And I would take this alley every day. And then one day, I took it at, I want to say about 3:30 or whatever the case is, coming home from school. And there was this old man that was sitting at this table. It's a concrete table. It had like a little, I don't know what you call them, the umbrellas. And he was sitting there. He had like a cup of, I don't know, whatever he was drinking. And he had some cookies and stuff like that. And I walked by, and when you look at somebody, but then you don't want to look at them. And then you look at them, and then you guys catch eyes, and then you lock. So I'm walking, and he's like, hey. I look over. And this was before stranger danger and all that stuff. That's when kids used to walk home from school or do whatever, and you wouldn't mess with the kids because the whole neighborhood would come down on you with the wrath. So he called me over, and I'm like, all right, so, I mean, it's outside of this retirement home. What are they going to do to me, whatever the case is. So I walked over and I sat there, and he's like, hey, he introduced himself and this and that. And then all of a sudden, he just started going through all his stories. And he was I want to say, a staff sergeant or a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps. He retired, obviously, but he was in World War II. He landed in Normandy and all that stuff, and he shared those stories, and I was just like that, big bug-eyed, and I was listening to the stories, and I ate my cookie, and then I went home. From 3 something all the way to like 6:30 at night. I finally got home, and my mom was like, "Hey, where were you at?" I was like, "I was down here at the old retirement home," and I just sat there and I was listening to stories. So the night went by, and then the next day I'm walking straight through the alley again, and then there's that man, and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey," and I ran over this time. I put my bags down and stuff like that, my book bag, whatever, and he had another cookie for me, and then he was talking about the 50s and the 60s and how he had this old custom car and stuff like that, and then he went back into the World War II stories. He was talking about Pelelu and Okinawa and all this stuff, the Pacific. And I listened to him talk about that stuff. And then another older man came out, opened the door, and he sat down, an African-American guy. This guy that I was talking to originally was Mexican. So he sat at the table too, and he was in the Navy. And, they were starting bickering back and forth, talking about each other and this and that. I loved it. If you watch like Grumpy Old Men and stuff like that, that's kind of, you can picture it. They're just old men that were sitting there. And then the guy pulls out a cookie that he has too in a little napkin, and he hands it to me too. So I didn't just get one cookie, I got 2 cookies. And then, I went home, and then it just kept progressing every single day. I would look forward to listening to their stories. I would look forward to meeting up with them and just sitting there and just listen, just sit back and not say anything, answer questions and stuff like that, but not take over the conversations. Just let these people just speak. And then all of a sudden, it went from those 2 people to like a whole table, and then like an older lady and in a wheelchair, and all these people are coming around, and we're all laughing, and they're all talking, and everybody's having a good time and stuff like that. The orderly's at the door, and he's just sitting there, he's got his little white stuff on, and he's just watching these people talk, and I'm in the middle, and I have a mound of cookies, by this time, because they were getting used to me coming and me going over there and listening to them, just taking time out of my day and just enjoying their conversation. And, eventually some of them started passing off and stuff like that. I don't want to put that on here, but yeah, they would pass away, and I would miss them. And I'd be like, "Hey, where's this guy?" And they'd be like, "Oh, he's up in heaven and stuff." So, sorry, someone's sending me a message, of course. No one ever messages me until I turn on this video camera. Nobody calls me until I turn it on. Once I turn it on, everybody and the dogs are texting me and sending me stuff. But back to my story. So I would go there and I would listen, and everybody always told me when I was young that I had an old heart. I don't know if you ever heard that, but it's a terminology for people that appear to be older than what they are, mentally wise. And I would never understood it until later in life, until I started sharing my own stories with my daughters and stuff like that. And I realized that I had an old heart because I got it from these older people. I started, I guess, living through their experiences, enjoying the moments that they were conversing with me. And the point of my story, the whole point of everything that I'm talking about, is because this is what people are looking for. This is what people are looking on for YouTube. That's what I look for. I am looking for the same person to come on, whether it be that day or the next day. There's some people I follow now that I get an alert and I go to their channel, and they're not trying to sell me anything. They're not trying to hook me or anything. They're just sharing. And that comes back to the whole purpose of the video, which is the creator block. If you think that you don't have anything to bring to the plate, you do. Someone is going to come and enjoy your conversation. Someone's going to come and watch your video and grow with you, and then follow and watch the next video, and then follow the next the video. As long as you stay original and true to yourself, they're going to keep coming back, and you're going to be having a community. All of a sudden you're going to see comments. My community is great now. You know, people are commenting, and I'm seeing the same people comment on my videos. I'm like, hey, where you been? I haven't seen you for a while. I try not to keep anything automated because it's not real. That doesn't, if you're building a community, nobody wants to say, thanks for watching. Hey, follow me. Go to my website. Da, 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 da. They want to say, hey, you know what? Thanks again. I noticed you posted, you commented on the other video, or where you been. What did you enjoy about it? And talk, or ask them about their day. You know, I welcome comments. I welcome people to my channel. I welcome anybody that wants to share their channel with me, share their experiences with me. I'll go and watch it. And then I also drop comments on people's videos. I don't just sit there, because I know they took time out of their day to provide that little bit of entertainment. This one time, this person that I knew, you know, just, he would always criticize. He told me one day, he's like, you know what, hey, why do you post all that stuff? Why do you post behind the scenes and no final product or whatever, no build up to this mystical video? Because I put that to my clients. I put that on the other stuff. I don't need that to grab attention. And he said, hey, it's not valuable content. And I was like, what? He was like, it's not valuable content. There's nothing that's coming out of it. If you watched it, it's valuable. It doesn't matter if you liked it or not. And I had to remind this person, I'm like, look, everything I do is not for you. It's not for anybody else that is in my inner circle. It's not for any of that. I'm expanding. I'm reaching out. I'm looking for people to grow with. I'm looking for clients, of course. And my clients don't come from my colleagues. You know, I stand my ground on that. I'm not looking to get the pat on the backs from any of those people. I'm looking for people to come in and trust me, follow, and grow with me. That was the whole purpose of the whole YouTube thing. It's not anything else other than that. Yeah, we got the plaque on the wall, and we got this and that, and we got verified, and that's just part of it. That's just the icing on the cake. The real true piece of the cake is being able to come on here and speak better, being able to come out of my shell, being able to share these stories with people, and have something that my kids can come back and look at later in life. I try to share the stories with my kids. You know how kids are. If they're your own kids, everybody else's story is more important than their own families. They're like, oh my God, did you hear this? And then you like share your story. I'm like, well, this one time I was swimming in the Potomac and the shark bit me. They don't care, you know. But hopefully one day, you know, my grandkids and stuff like that will come back and watch these videos and see who I am, see how I am, see the person that I've become. And the ones that know me, not in the past 10 years, the ones from like 20, 25 years ago, I want them to come here and look and see what God has done. I want them to see what my family has done. I want them to see where I come from to where I'm at now. I'm not talking about like rags to riches and stuff like that. I'm talking about me and who I am, what I am, and how I treat people. So to conclude, I can't even say the word, to conclude everything, if you ever feel like you have creator block, I don't even know what the right terminology is. I just called it creator block. I know there's writer's block and stuff like that or whatever. We'll just call this creator block. But if you're ever faced with that, the best thing you could do is turn it on. Turn on that button and record it. Because then all of a sudden you're just talking about anything. You know, like I didn't even know I was going to talk about the old people. But that was a wonderful memory for me. That just reminded me, like, hey, you know what? That's what community is about. That's what growing with people is about. That's what this should be about. If you're doing brand deals and stuff like that and this and that stuff's extra. But this is the beautiful part of being on YouTube. Being able to share and be yourself and not worry about what other people think and just grow, you know? If you're looking for like another tip, I guess, to get over creator block, repurpose your stuff. Go back. I'm big on repurposing. Some other people are like, hey, I saw that like last year, or didn't you do that session 2 months ago? The critics. And then now you go on and you watch the Instagram, whatever. Guess what they're doing? They're repurposing. Instead of criticizing somebody, just say, hey, you know what? That's a good idea. That's what I do. I ain't going to bash on anybody or whatever the case is. I'm just going to do it. But that's another thing you can do, is repurpose your content. You can tell your story, share your life things. I'm pretty sure that whoever those old people, their family was, they missed out on some beautiful conversations. They missed out on some beautiful moments, some laughing. You know, I could still see it in my head, that table, me sitting as a little kid with the mountain cookies and everybody laughing, this old lady and this, that, people. And then, who knows, they might have not had anything else to do that day. And then here comes this little Irish Mexican kid running down the alley, and, you know, they're coming out there and they're talking. And I'm pretty sure that was probably one of their best days of their lives. When they get to the retirement home with their friends. And I'm not just saying me. I'm just saying them coming out and being community, because every time I looked at that orderly, he was smiling. And I can see him talking like to somebody else, like, hey, who knows? They might have been quiet all day. They might have not had anything to talk about, or just sad and depressed. And in that 2 hours, being able to talk without anybody interrupting or, you know, dissing on each other, you know, just playing back and forth, that play, it made their day. And that's what I'm hoping my videos do. And hopefully you too. Hopefully your videos impact people. I know when I follow those people, like I said, and they come on, I'm excited. I get on there and I watch their video because I'm getting used to them, you know? Yeah. That was a beautiful moment in my life. Those people made a big impact. For me to remember it, I'm knocking on 50 here in June. And for me to remember that from back when I was like 10 through 13, 14, whatever, that made a big impact on me. And I'm hoping to do that on here too. So I just wanted to share that. Like I said, I wanted to come on here and do this video, be consistent, be on here. The only way I could get better is to come on here. The only way to advance this YouTube thing and to build a stronger community is coming on here. You don't do it by sitting on the sidelines. You don't do it by being depressed because you don't have something to post or whatever the case is. You get on here and you do it. So I hope my story touched someone today. If it did, drop a comment. If you're not subscribed to our channel, this is what we do. It's real and raw. Just conversate. No, I don't go through and edit all this stuff. I don't do all the boop, 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 boop. I have a little comments and little things like that. I'm getting better at it. But this is what we do. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you for watching. And deuces.